Sleep Pause, a soothing bedtime story. Once upon a time, in a quiet little forest nestled between rolling hills, there was a magical place called Sleepy Paws Meadow. This meadow was no ordinary meadow. It was a place where animals from all over the forest came to rest their tired paws, wings, and tails. The air was always soft, the stars twinkled extra brightly, and the gentle hum of the wind carried lullabies through the trees. Tonight, the moon was full, casting a silvery glow over the meadow. A tiny rabbit named Luna hopped into the clearing, her fluffy white fur glowing in the moonlight. Luna was known as the Sleep Guide, and her job was to help all the animals in the forest drift off to dreamland. "Close your eyes, Sleep Paws," Luna whispered softly, her voice like a warm blanket. "It's time to rest." One by one, the animals began to gather. First came Oliver the owl, who usually stayed up late, but tonight felt especially tired. His big, round eyes blinked slowly as he perched on a low branch. Next came Milo the mouse, who was always busy scurrying around during the day. His tiny paws were tired, and he yawned as he curled up on a soft patch of moss. Then came Bella the bear cub, who was still learning how to sleep through the night. She rubbed her eyes and snuggled close to her friend Fern the fox, whose fluffy tail wrapped around her like a cozy scarf. Finally, Pippin the porcupine arrived, carefully tiptoeing so his quills wouldn't rustle too much. He found a spot near a bubbling brook, where the sound of the water would help him relax. Luna smiled at her friends. "Tonight, I'll tell you the story of the starlight blanket," she said. "It's a story so soft and soothing you'll be asleep before it ends." The animals nodded, their eyes already growing heavy. The Starlight Blanket. A long, long time ago, when the world was still new, the sky was dark and empty. The animals of the forest would try to sleep, but they felt a little lonely without any light to watch over them. One night, a kind old wolf named Orion climbed to the top of the tallest hill. He howled a gentle howl, one that carried all the way to the stars. The stars heard his call and decided to help. They gathered together, twinkling and shimmering, and wove themselves into a giant, glowing blanket. They called it the Starlight Blanket, and they draped it across the sky. The blanket was so soft and warm that it made the whole forest feel safe and cozy. From that night on, whenever the animals felt tired, they would look up at the Starlight Blanket and know they were never alone. The stars would whisper, "Close your eyes, Sleep Paws. We're here to watch over you." As Luna finished the story, she looked around the meadow. Oliver the owl was already snoozing, his head tucked under his wing. Milo the mouse was curled into a tiny ball, his whiskers twitching as he dreamed of cheese. Bella the bear cub was snoring softly, her paw resting on Fern the fox's tail. And Pippin the porcupine was fast asleep, his quills rising and falling with each gentle breath. Luna smiled and whispered, "Good night, Sleep Paws. May your dreams be as sweet as the starlight blanket." And with that, she hopped back to her own cozy burrow, where she closed her eyes and drifted off to sleep, knowing the stars were watching over them all. Close your eyes, Sleep Paws, the moonlit lullaby. The next night, the forest was even quieter than before. A soft mist hung in the air, and the moon shone like a glowing pearl, casting gentle shadows across Sleepy Paw's meadow. Luna the rabbit hopped into the clearing, her ears twitching as she listened to the peaceful sounds of the night. "Welcome back, Sleep Paws," Luna whispered, her voice as soft as a feather. "Tonight, I'll tell you the story of the Moonlit Lullaby, a song so calming that it can soothe even the busiest minds." The animals gathered once more, their eyes heavy with sleep. Oliver the owl fluttered down from his branch. Milo the mouse nestled into his mossy bed. Bella the bear cub leaned against Fern the fox, and Pippin the porcupine found his spot by the brook. Even a few new friends had joined Lila the deer and Sammy the squirrel, who had heard about the magical stories and wanted to experience them too. Luna began her tale. The Moonlit Lullaby. Long ago, when the forest was still young, the nights were quiet, too quiet. The animals found it hard to sleep because the silence felt so vast and empty. They would toss and turn, their minds filled with the day's worries and wonders. One evening, the moon noticed their restlessness. She felt sorry for the animals and decided to create something special, a lullaby that would wrap around the forest like a warm hug. The moon called upon her friends, the night breeze and the twinkling stars, to help her. Together, they composed a melody so gentle and sweet that it could calm even the most restless hearts. The night breeze carried the lullaby through the trees, rustling the leaves in a soothing rhythm. The twinkling stars added their shimmering notes, creating a harmony that sparkled like diamonds in the sky. And the moon herself sang the softest, most comforting words. "Close your eyes, little one. The day is done. Let the stars guide your dreams, as soft as moonbeams. Sleep, sleep, pause. Under the night's gentle laws, you are safe, you are loved." By the moon above, as the lullaby floated through the forest, the animals felt their worries melt away. Their paws, wings, and tails relaxed, and one by one, they drifted into the deepest, most peaceful sleep they had ever known. From that night on, the Moonlit Lullaby became a treasured part of the forest. Whenever the animals felt restless, they would listen for the gentle hum of the wind and the twinkling of the stars, and they would remember the moon's comforting words. As Luna finished the story, she looked around the meadow. Oliver the owl was already dreaming, his feathers puffing up as he let out a soft hoo-hoo in his sleep. Milo the mouse was snuggled under a leaf, his tiny paws twitching as he dreamed of running through fields of golden wheat. Bella the bear cub was curled up with Fern the fox, their breaths rising and falling in perfect harmony. Lila the deer rested her head on a soft patch of grass, her ears flicking as she dreamed of dancing in the moonlight. Sammy the squirrel was tucked into a cozy nook in a tree, his tail wrapped around him like a blanket. And Pippin the porcupine was fast asleep by the brook, the sound of the water blending with the lullaby in his dreams. Luna smiled and whispered, "Good night, Sleep Paws. May the moonlit lullaby carry you to the sweetest dreams." And with that, she hopped back to her burrow, where she closed her eyes and let the lullaby carry her off to sleep too. On the third night, the forest was bathed in a soft, golden glow. The stars seemed to twinkle a little brighter, and the air was filled with the faint scent of lavender and honey. Luna the rabbit hopped into Sleepy Paw's meadow, her nose twitching as she greeted her friends. "Welcome, Sleep Paws," Luna said, her voice as gentle as a summer breeze. "Tonight, I'll tell you the story of the Dreamweaver's gift, a tale of magical dreams and the kindest creature in the forest. The animals gathered once more, their eyes already growing heavy with sleep. Oliver the owl perched on his branch, Milo the mouse curled up in his mossy bed. Bella the bear cub snuggled with Fern the fox, and Pippin the porcupine settled by the brook. Lila the deer and Sammy the squirrel were there too, along with a new friend, Toby the turtle, who had slowly made his way to the meadow to join the group. Luna began her tale. The Dreamweaver's Gift. Long ago, deep in the heart of the forest, there lived a mysterious creature known as the Dreamweaver. The Dreamweaver was a small silvery fox with fur that shimmered like starlight and eyes that glowed like the moon. She had a special gift. She could weave dreams for the animals of the forest, crafting them from threads of starlight, moonlight, and the softest whispers of the wind. Every night, the Dreamweaver would visit Sleepy Paw's meadow and spin her magical threads into beautiful dreams. She would weave dreams of flying through the clouds, swimming in crystal-clear lakes, and exploring enchanted gardens. She made sure every animal had a dream that was just right for them. But one night, the Dreamweaver noticed that some of the animals were still having trouble sleeping. Their minds were filled with worries about the day, about their friends, or about things they couldn't quite explain. The Dreamweaver knew she had to do something. She called upon her friends, the fireflies, to help her. The fireflies gathered around her, their tiny lights flickering like little lanterns. Together, they created a special dream, a dream of peace and comfort. The Dreamweaver wove threads of golden light, soft whispers, and the scent of lavender into a dream so calming that it could ease even the busiest minds. She called it the dream of gentle hearts. That night, as the animals slept, the Dreamweaver visited each one. She placed the dream of gentle hearts in their minds, and as they dreamed, they felt their worries melt away. They dreamed of warm hugs, kind words, and the feeling of being safe and loved. From that night on, the Dreamweaver made sure to include the dream of gentle hearts in every dream she wove. And whenever the animals felt worried or restless, they would remember the Dreamweaver's gift and know that peace was always within reach. As Luna finished the story, she looked around the meadow. Oliver the owl was already asleep, his feathers fluffed up like a pillow. Milo the mouse was curled into a tiny ball, his whiskers twitching as he dreamed of fields of flowers. Bella the bear cub was snoring softly, her paw resting on Fern the fox's tail. Lila the deer rested her head on a soft patch of grass, her ears flicking as she dreamed of running through a sunlit meadow. Sammy the squirrel was tucked into his tree nook, his tail wrapped around him like a blanket. Toby the turtle was fast asleep by the brook, his shell glistening in the moonlight. And Pippin the porcupine was dreaming peacefully, his quills rising and falling with each gentle breath. Luna smiled and whispered, "Good night, Sleep Paws. May the Dreamweaver's gift bring you the sweetest, most peaceful dreams." And with that, she hopped back to her burrow, where she closed her eyes and let the Dreamweaver's magic carry her off to sleep too. On the fourth night, the forest was alive with a soft silvery glow. The stars above seemed to dance in the sky, forming patterns that told ancient stories. Luna the rabbit hopped into Sleepy Paw's meadow, her ears perked up as she listened to the gentle rustling of the leaves. "Welcome, Sleep Pause," Luna whispered, her voice as soothing as a lullaby. "Tonight, I'll tell you the story of the starry canopy, a tale of how the stars came to watch over the forest and guide us through the night." The animals gathered once more, their eyes heavy with sleep. Oliver the owl perched on his branch, Milo the mouse nestled into his mossy bed. Bella the bear cub snuggled with Fern the fox, and Pippin the porcupine settled by the brook. Lila the deer, Sammy the squirrel, and Toby the turtle were there too, along with a new friend, Polly the porcupine, who had heard about the magical stories and wanted to join. Luna began her tale. The Starry Canopy. Long ago, before the stars filled the night sky, the forest was a very dark place. The animals would huddle together, trying to find comfort in the shadows. They loved the warmth of the sun during the day, but when night fell, they felt lost and alone. One evening, a wise old owl named Celeste decided to do something about it. She flew high into the sky, higher than any owl had ever flown before, until she reached the Cloud of Wishes. This cloud was a magical place where dreams and hopes gathered, waiting to be granted. Celeste called out to the cloud, "Please, bring light to the night so my friends in the forest can feel safe and loved." The Cloud of Wishes heard her plea and decided to help. It gathered all the dreams and hopes of the animals and turned them into tiny, glowing lights. These lights became the stars, and they were scattered across the sky to form a beautiful starry canopy. Each star had a special job. Some stars were guardian stars, watching over the animals as they slept. Others were dream stars, guiding the animals to sweet and peaceful dreams. And some were wishing stars, ready to grant the wishes of anyone who believed in their magic. From that night on, the forest was never truly dark. The starry canopy shone brightly, casting a gentle glow over Sleepy Paw's meadow. The animals felt safe and loved, knowing the stars were always there to watch over them. And whenever an animal felt lost or scared, they would look up at the starry canopy and remember Celeste's bravery. They would whisper their wishes to the stars, and the stars would twinkle back, as if to say, "We're here for you." As Luna finished the story, she looked around the meadow. Oliver the owl was already asleep, his feathers fluffed up like a pillow. Milo the mouse was curled into a tiny ball, his whiskers twitching as he dreamed of fields of flowers. Bella the bear cub was snoring softly, her paw resting on Fern the fox's tail. Lila the deer rested her head on a soft patch of grass, her ears flicking as she dreamed of running through a sunlit meadow. Sammy the squirrel was tucked into his tree nook, his tail wrapped around him like a blanket. Toby the turtle was fast asleep by the brook, his shell glistening in the moonlight. Polly the porcupine was dreaming peacefully, her quills rising and falling with each gentle breath. And Pippin the porcupine was snuggled close to her, his nose twitching as he dreamed of adventures in the stars. Luna smiled and whispered, "Good night, Sleep Paws. May the starry canopy guide you to the sweetest dreams." And with that, she hopped back to her burrow, where she closed her eyes and let the stars carry her off to sleep too. Sweet dreams, little one. Close your eyes, Sleep Paws.